A woman arrives at a rental house in the middle of the night. The neighborhood is empty. Every house is destroyed. Hers is the only one still standing. The key isn't in the lockbox. The agent won't answer. And when she rings the bell, a stranger opens the door. He says the house was double booked. He says she can have the bed. He says she can trust him. But this house has a basement. And in that basement, something has been waiting 40 years to call someone Mommy. Stay with me, because what's living under this house is only the second worst thing in it. If you're enjoying this video, please subscribe before watching ahead. Tess arrives in Brightmoor, Detroit. Pouring rain, empty lockbox, voicemail. When she sees the lights on inside, a man named Keith opens the door and shows her his own booking confirmation. The rental agent double-booked them. Every hotel in town is full because of a medical convention. Keith offers her the bed and says he'll take the couch. In the bedroom, Tess finds his wallet and quietly photographs his ID before handing it back. Smart girl. She doesn't trust him. Neither should you. They share wine. They talk for hours. He seems normal, charming even. Then, in the middle of the night, Tess wakes up. Her bedroom door, the one she locked, is wide open. She hears a screech down the hall. She creeps out. Keith is having a nightmare on the couch. She shakes him awake, and he swears he didn't open her door. She goes back to bed and locks it again. The next morning, Keith is gone. Just a note wishing her luck on her interview. That's when Tess steps outside in daylight and sees what this neighborhood really is. Burned out homes, collapsed roofs, boarded windows. Hers is the only house standing for blocks. She meets the filmmaker she's interviewing with, Catherine, who immediately tells her she's staying in one of the worst neighborhoods in Detroit. Tess heads back, and the second she pulls up, a homeless man named Andre starts sprinting toward her car, screaming at her to stop. She barely makes it inside before he reaches the door. He pounds on it. The police won't send a unit. He eventually leaves. She's safe, for now. Then she needs toilet paper. There's none in the bathroom, none in the kitchen. She checks every room, so she goes down to the basement. She finds a roll, grabs it, turns to leave, and the basement door slams shut behind her. Locked! Her phone is upstairs. Now she's trapped. While searching for a way out, she spots a rope hanging from a hole in the wall. She pulls it, and a hidden door swings open. A pitch-black corridor. She almost walks away, but she grabs a mirror, angles the basement light into the dark, and forces herself to go in. At the end of the corridor, another door. She opens it. Inside, a filthy mattress on the floor, a bucket, a video camera on a tripod, and a bloody handprint smeared down the wall. Tess runs. Keith comes back. She tells him everything. He doesn't believe her. Basements have junk, he says, and he goes down to check it out himself. Then he stops responding. Tess goes after him. She props the basement door open with a chair this time. She goes deeper, past the mattress room, through another door she didn't see before, into a tunnel. A tunnel with empty cages along the walls, bowls inside them. She hears Keith call for help. She finds him in the dark, bleeding, panicking. Something bit him. They argue about which way leads out, and then they stop arguing, because something else is standing in the tunnel with them. A naked, malformed woman, pale, wrong. She grabs Keith by the head and bashes it against the concrete wall until he stops moving. Then she turns to Tess. If you're enjoying this recap, leave a like. Now meet AJ. He's a successful actor cruising down the Pacific Coast Highway when his producer calls. His co-star has accused him of assault. He's fired. The story's already out. AJ doesn't deny it to himself. He just thinks she's overreacting. His accountant tells him he's broke. So AJ flies to Detroit to liquidate the one asset he has left, a rental property he owns in a neighborhood called Brightmoor. You already know which house. He walks in, finds Tess's car outside, Keith's bag in the bedroom, two strangers' belongings, but no people. He assumes squatters. He drinks. He calls his co-star and leaves a "sorry but" voicemail that makes things worse. The next morning, he finds the basement keys on the table. He goes down. He finds the rope, the hidden door, the mattress, the camera. the handprint, and he gets excited. Because if he can list the basement as separate square footage, the house is worth more money. He pulls out a measuring tape and starts walking the tunnels, measuring the abuse dungeon like it's a renovation project. He keeps going, deeper, past the cages, until he finds a room with a tiny TV playing footage of a mother bottle feeding a baby. His tape measure suddenly yanks out of his hand and disappears into the dark. He runs, trips, drops his flashlight, and the creature's face fills the beam. He falls into a pit. A hand clamps over his mouth. It's Tess, still alive. The creature drops down with them. She hands Tess a baby bottle. Tess drinks from it without hesitating and whispers to AJ to do the same. The creature wants them to be her babies. AJ refuses. The creature drags him out to force feed him while a video plays of a mother nursing. Tess escapes the pit. She makes it back to the basement window, and Andre, the homeless man, appears and pulls her out. He's not crazy. He's a survivor. He's been trying to warn people. He tells her to run and leave AJ behind. She can't. Meanwhile, AJ finds another door deep in the tunnels. Inside, an ancient, dying old man named Frank is lying in bed, and a stack of VHS tapes. AJ watches them. The tapes show Frank, decades ago, abusing the women he kidnapped off this street in the 80s. This is the truth. Frank was a serial predator who never moved out of the neighborhood. He kept the women in the basement. He impregnated them. Then he impregnated their daughters. Then their granddaughters. Generations of inbreeding inside one basement. The creature is what came out at the end. She's 40 years old. She's never seen the sun. And all she's ever wanted is a baby of her own. Frank pulls a gun from his nightstand and ends himself in front of AJ. Tess escapes, drives to a gas station, calls the police, but they refuse to break down a door without a warrant. So she goes back herself. She finds AJ. He panics in the dark tunnel, fires the gun, and shoots Tess in the hip. They escape outside. They find Andre's hideout. He explains everything. Then the creature crashes through the wall, tears Andre's arm off, and beats him to death with it. Tess and AJ run to the top of a water tower. AJ pulls the gun and drops it. When the creature reaches the top, AJ grabs Tess by the hair and throws her off the tower as a distraction. The creature jumps after her baby. AJ climbs down, expecting 2 corpses. Instead, he finds Tess alive. The creature's body cushioned her fall. AJ apologizes, says he panicked, says he's not a bad guy. The creature wakes up, grabs his head, presses her thumbs into his eyes, and splits his skull in 2. Then she turns to Tess. She doesn't attack. She gently touches Tess's forehead and calls her baby. Tess lifts the gun and pulls the trigger. The monster of Brightmoor, the last child of Frank's basement, dies looking at the only person who ever showed her kindness. Tess walks away from the house alone. If this recap kept you watching, hit subscribe!